wow,
It would be dumb if the Lambo sat in the garage and you never used it.
No, I drive it a lot.
But I know for a fact you drive that car a lot, and so like we've talked about other times, the miles are cheap.
Yep.
So if you're unafraid of the miles and you drive it, then it's a great thing.
I have to thank you for that, by the way, because I was definitely
for doing mileage math on you.
No, not even mileage math, but just sort of just getting my head straight about it. Because I did buy the car, drive it. I would say I was being very sort of cautious. Look, like, and I don't know how many of your viewers are in this situation, but like I'd say like maybe 5-6 years ago, I was in a position where like I thought for the rest of my life I will never have like a fast car. That's just not in the cards for me. And
because you thought that financially,
financially, just impossible. Like I loved cars. I almost didn't love them as much because it's like, why torture myself? Looking at things I will never afford. And then I put a lot of work into businesses, and it's not the band, it's everything else. But honestly, the main goal was to try to like get these kinds of cars. That was like the next goal, to get these kinds of cars. But the thing that a lot of people don't experience, and you don't necessarily have to experience as much as others, is like when you've had no car or crappy cars, and then you get like a nice car, the anxiety that comes with it is so real and needs to be addressed. Because you spent all this money that in my case, it's like, was this a responsible purchase? Hell no. Can I afford it? Just about, but there's probably a million other ways to spend that money that would have been more responsible. So now I've got this thing and it's perfect, or it's near perfect because that's how I bought it. And I'm afraid of parking it anywhere. I'm afraid of leaving it anywhere. I'm afraid of taking it for drives and scraping it somewhere. I'm afraid of all these things that I never thought about. And no one really ever talks about this, but like I transitioned from like I will never own one of these to like, hey, like I can start looking at these cars, and I really wish there had been a bit of a primer on that. We
need like an AA for people who can suddenly afford sports cars.
Like, supercars for dummies, Yeah,
well, like, I think that's interesting, and I think people handle it different ways. Either they handle it like you're talking about, and it's this precious thing, and oh my god, or they make that money so fast, and they're like just totally irresponsible with it, and they go way the other way.
Sure,
and they just don't understand the value of the dollar. They probably didn't work as hard to get the money as you did to get your money in that case. But like that, not like people, it goes one way or the other. I think you're doing a good job of driving the car.
Yeah, well, I mean, like it's also this rolling thing because like the first fast car, I bought myself an E90 M3 sedan. I think I paid like $44,000 for it.
Okay, so you had in between nice cars.
Yeah, that was like my first. That was like my first. That's actually the first car I bought for myself because otherwise I was just walking to work or like borrowing my parents' like SUV, right? So
E90 M3 sedan's a nice car.
So it was a good
car. Yeah,
it was a great car. Absolutely loved that car, and I thought that was gonna be it because I barely scraped the money to get that together. My parents thought I was insane, but
Did it go badly for some reason?
Nope.
Why did you think that was gonna be it?
No, because because I'm Jewish and there's guilt and there's like there's all this, and my parents are just looking at me like, oh, he's dumb, like why didn't you buy a house, you could, like here are all the other ways you could have spent this money instead of being a failure. But
pepperoni pizza in a German car, please.
Yeah, I've just completely disappointed them, like,
right.
But so I mean that was my first taste of my irresponsibility, and at that point in time I was so careful, but that was my only car, so I was parking it, taking it everywhere. Yeah. But now I have, a daily. I have a BMW X3, which I paid more for, and that is a beater. Like I don't care where that goes.
It's all economies of scale.
Yeah,
dude.
exactly.
It's where you put it mentally. I had a Mustang in high school, and it wasn't worth that much money, but I literally convinced my father to park his Mercedes outside in the street, so I could park my Mustang in the garage, and I should probably give him more credit today than I give him for going for this. And for 2 years, my Mustang was in the garage and his fucking car was outside.
What a dude.
What a dude, indeed.
Your dad
My
rules.
dad was a G. Yeah, he was a G.
I would
not do that for my kid.
Hell no.
I would not do that for my kid.
Wow.
I buy him nice shit for his birthday now. It's where you package it mentally.
Yeah, so that's I think another reason why I like that Cayman so much, because it costs less. I don't have guilt about leaving it on the street or leaving it whatever. I can
Well,
take
yeah.
it wherever. But what you did change my mind about was like, look, it's just a car. It's insured. I've even like gone above and beyond and got like the wheel and tire package for it and everything. Because you know how expensive the wheels
I
are on
know.
that damn car. So it's like,
You got to read the fine print on them,
Right.
wheel and tire insurance. Because sometimes if the wheel still holds air, if you bend a wheel, but it's still holding air, but it's
don't
like
cover it.
fucked, they won't cover it. And then what you got to do is you got to go home and take a fucking sledge and make it not hold air anymore. And it's just a little more work.
a little more work than it needs to be. But
Ask
still,
me how I know that.
still cheaper than buying a new wheel.
For sure. For sure.
But you know, like that. I think the thing that you did tell me, I think you told me that you had a friend who, when he gets a new car, he'll actually like mark it with a key.
Musto does
Mike
that.
Musto, he
Yeah.
keys it. Yeah, he keys his own car when he first gets one.
I didn't go that far, but the message was received.
Yeah,
And
I know.
since then, you know, I've been driving it around. I think the other thing is also just I get anxious with this stuff. So actually doing it, leaving it somewhere, wherever overnight or for whatever, and then the car's fine is like, oh, that was fine.
Yeah.
And then you just keep driving. So the more I drive it, the more I drive it.